The map of the United States has changed hundreds of times. Territories were organized. Borders shifted. States were carved out, divided, and redrawn. Every line on the map has a story, and we'll break them down for you. This is the history of how the United States took shape. Let's rewind all the way back to the beginning. March of 1789. Look at this map for a second. Something here is strange. Even if you paid attention in grade school, the original states don't sit right. The state of Georgia was much bigger than it is today. Georgia was first created by the British Crown from South Carolina's southern frontier as a buffer between Spanish Florida and the British colonies, confined to a narrow strip of land along the Atlantic coast. But after the French and Indian War, Britain expanded Georgia's boundary all the way to the Mississippi River, even though most of that territory was controlled by the sovereign Muskogee, Cherokee, Choctaw, and Chickasaw nations. By 1789, Georgia claimed this vast western territory, despite exercising little authority beyond the Oconee River. That set the stage for what was called the Yazoo land fraud, one of the biggest corruption scandals in early American history. In 1795, lawmakers sold 35 million acres they didn't actually possess for about 1.4 cents an acre. Public outrage overturned the deal, but not before the companies had resold much of the land. The legal chaos forced the federal government to step in. It created the Mississippi Territory in 1798 after settling a boundary dispute with Spain 3 years earlier. Then negotiated the Compact of 1802, in which Georgia ceded its western claims for $1.25 million. The agreement also committed the federal government to extinguishing native land claims, a promise ultimately carried out through the Indian removal policies of the 1830s. The scandal ultimately gave Georgia the shape it still holds today. It also produced the landmark Supreme Court case Fletcher v. Peck, the first time the court struck down a state law as unconstitutional, helping define the balance of power between states, the federal government, and the Constitution.